Hello. Good evening, everyone. I hope everybody's well and chatty. Welcome to day 2 of Lockdown Book Club, our very first special story dictated by you, written by me, read by all of us. Total nonsense. If you need a little bit of escapism, we're here Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays at 10 p.m. and obviously available to catch up anytime you like. Hello to everybody in the chat. Graham, you made it back. That's good. I'm delighted about that. I'm so sorry. I didn't realise you would be called Graham when I annihilated the name Graham in last night's episode. I hope everybody's all right. Kevin's having a seafood feast, very delicious. I had salmon for dinner myself today. Oh, you've got squid ink. Oh, you're fancy. You're in Canada, aren't you? There's lots of good seafood in Canada. Good sushi, certainly. Hope everybody's well. Everybody's saying hello. Chatting boats. Kim's here. Kim, one of our regulars from the last book, all the way from Australia, I believe. Hello, everybody. Hello to Jeff. I hope everybody's well. It's been a stressful blooming day, hasn't it? I've been fighting with EE all day. They nosed up my phone contract last week, and oh my days, why don't they know how to solve their own problems? It's a problem that they started. They've tried to fix it 3 different ways, and I just don't understand how hard it is to give me a phone that works. So anyway, hello, Catherine. Mackie, my dog, for those that don't know, Mackie, my dog, is good. She's been very good today. She punished me yesterday because the fireworks were going off and she really didn't mind them. And then she realised she could go outside and bark at them. And that was then all she wanted to do was go outside and bark at the bloody fireworks. So I had to bring her inside and be like, no, babe, you're not going to drive the neighbours berserk by being outside barking all evening. So I brought her inside. And then, again, for those of you that don't know, we've trained Mackie to ding a little bell when she wants to go outside, which she does really well. So then she's just standing at the front door dinging this bell and looking at me. And I'm like, bitch, I know you don't need the toilet. You are just doing this to jip me off. You're not leaving this house. And she's sitting there going, I need a wee. And I'm like, you don't. So let her outside. She goes outside. She just barks at the gate again. And I'm like, right, okay. I'm not being played by a 4-month-old dog. This is ludicrous. So she comes back in the house and I'm like, stop it. Come and like sit down here. And she's dinging the bell and looking at me just like, let me out. You have to let me out. Ring the bell. So I was like, no, I'm not playing this game, Mackie. So I picked the bell up and put it on the side. And sit down on the sofa. And I'm like, I'll let her out in a little bit. But when the fireworks have come down, she immediately goes upstairs and pisses on the landing. And I can't really get mad at her because she was asking to go outside and I was the one that changed the rules. So I've been well and truly outsmarted by my Jack Russell. But today she's been absolutely lovely. She's very sweet. She's just lovely. We're still struggling to get her to eat. That's the only problem, is she is just not eating enough at the moment. I've turned into one of those absolute lemons. Like I sit on the floor and feed it to her piece by piece. She's adorable. So that is how my little monkey dog is getting on. I hope all your various pets, I think Ben has rabbits, and Kim, I know you have dogs. So I hope all of your various pets are very happy and well. Now, on to the story. So you voted about lunches yesterday. You voted what has Kate brought for lunch. And the vote went... Shall I do the chapter first and then I'll tell you all of the possible things that could have happened? Let's do the chapter first and then I'll talk you through all the things you didn't win, and they can all go by on a little conveyor belt. That was a very chinny pose, wasn't it? How many have we got there? Loads. My hair looks right. Shut up, Laura. Just read the story. Okay. I will read you the chapters and then I'll tell you what you didn't win. All right. Chapter 2. So let's just clarify. At the end of the last one, we're in the boat, we're out at sea, and Grim says, did you bring lunch? Right, Wigan. I've got to practice my Wigan accent. That's it, isn't it? Okay, right. Chapter 2. Kate nodded, glad now that she hadn't followed through on her more elaborate plans for lunch today. She shuddered at the thought of the champagne currently chilling in her fridge and how ridiculous it would have looked had she brought it. She pulled the Tupperware box out of her bag and opened it up to add some oil and give it a stir. Oh, that smells good, said Grim. Makes you hungry, the sea breeze, doesn't it? Kate nodded. I think it's coming out all right, but I can't do it without the shoulders getting involved. Grim. That's how I pronounce Grim when you spell it. Grim. Graham or Grim. Makes you, I'm going to try and do it keeping my shoulders down, makes you hungry, the sea breeze. Now my eyebrows are getting involved. Everything just stay down. Makes you hungry, the sea breeze, doesn't it? Can't do it, never mind. Kate nodded, but she didn't really agree. It made her feel nauseous and small. If she'd known it would be such a small boat, she would never have agreed. Those big shiny white boats back in the marina probably didn't bob around this much, and even if they did, she'd have so much champagne in her system by now that the bobbing from each would be cancelling each other out. Perfect. She stirred the pasta around and then divided it into portions in the 2 enamel bowls she had bought when retro camping chic was a thing and she'd been in that cookware shop. Miserably, she scooped 3/4 of the pasta into Graham's bowl and kept the smaller amount for herself. God, being a woman sucked. Periods and nowhere near as many calories in a day? Just not fair. She passed the bowl over and took a mouthful of her own food, making sure it was a small one so she could make it last as long as possible. Oh my God, this is amazing, Graham exclaimed, looking wide-eyed at Kate. She blinked back, a little astonished at his enthusiasm. Oh, she's Welsh, isn't she? Is it? Yeah, what's in it? Kate thought back to the night before when she'd prepared it. I don't know really. Garlic, shiitake mushrooms, a bit of spice, some truffle oil, basil, pine nuts. I can't think what else. I wasn't paying attention. Oh, you'll have to give me the recipe, Graham said, popping another mouthful of pasta past his teeth and grinning. Kate had to smile, despite the basil stuck in his teeth. It's just thrown together, really, Kate said, feeling a bit shy at this much attention on her cooking. You made this up? Graham looked like she'd just told him she knew alchemy. Well, yeah. It's just, I suppose, yeah. Yeah, I did. Kate was a good cook. More than a good cook. It just all felt very natural in the kitchen. Smells and tastes and ideas came together. When she settled into the kitchen to put something together to eat, it was usually the only time of day when she didn't feel insecure. In the kitchen, there was no little voice on her shoulder questioning her, no worry that she should be further along by now. She was just doing and not thinking. Cooking was great. She should remember not everyone could do it more often. It was a special thing to be able to cook. Just because Polly didn't understand the difference between a fresh cooked meal and an M&S microwavable didn't mean cooking didn't have value. Oh, that's amazing, Graham said, scraping the last few bits of pasta off the bottom of his Tupperware and settling back onto his bench. The boat rocked alarmingly, and Kate watched sadly as her last piece of pasta flicked off her fork and into the sea. Please attract a shark so I can just die now and have this over with, she thought morosely. No such luck. The pasta bobbed tauntingly on the surface next to the boat, advertising its freedom while Kate was still sitting in the little wooden purgatory. Well, now I've seen your talents, shall I show you how to fish? Graham said, and Kate found she was warming to him. He seemed kind and enthusiastic, but my God, why was he so keen to get a rod in her hand? Kate snorted as that sentence unravelled itself in her head in all its double entendre glory. Oh, well, if you'd rather not. Graham looked down at his feet, feeling the snort aimed at him and losing his sunny demeanour. Sorry, no, I had never mind. I think something flew up my nose. Yes, please, I'd love to learn how to fish. Is it difficult? It turned out it was not difficult. It was, however, intensely boring. The key to fishing was to put the floaty bit in the water and then sit and wait. How anyone thought there was skill involved was completely beyond Kate, unless the skill was just how successfully you could switch your brain off and pretend you weren't freezing cold and wishing you were at home. Kate wondered if it would be weird if she attempted to fish for the piece of pasta she had lost. At least she knew she could probably catch that. The skill comes when a fish bites, said Graham, seemingly completely relaxed and laying back in the boat watching the horizon. What was he thinking about? How was he thinking for this long without getting sad? Maybe she should turn a podcast on to help them both block out thoughts. No, She felt like that would be a bad move. Okay, so if this date was just sitting in silence watching the sea, she needed to get through it. Pulling her phone out was not an option. 1, she would look like a teenager. 2, there was probably no signal out here. 3, if her phone went the same way as the pasta and she had to borrow money from Polly for a new one again, then she'd be furious with herself. So, no phone. Kate amused herself instead by turning fishing into something she could enjoy: shopping. She ran her mind over all the different catalogues on her coffee table and thought about all the different items in there that she'd previously discounted, but now might be worth buying if fishing was on the cards for her future. She eyed Graham. He had a good physique, looked like he had strong arms, a little lazy on leg day, but nothing that she couldn't work on when they had their his and hers gym memberships. Hey, that would be good. That would shave another £15 on her monthly outgoings and get her a little bit closer to being within Polly's budget. Or it would give her an extra £15 a month to spend on fingerless gloves and a waterproof phone cover and a really lovely wax jacket like the ones they had on Made in Chelsea. And she'd be able to afford to buy them all from lovely independent retailers, so she didn't have to feel guilty every time another parcel ended up on her doorstep. The hours literally crawled by. Kate could see them pulling themselves along the waves, clawing at the gentle bumps in the ocean and heaving themselves closer and closer to a point where she didn't have to be in this boat anymore. Perhaps she'd put that £15 a month towards getting Graham a better boat so they could fish in a bit more luxury. How much could these yachts possibly be? The thought of ordering a ton of yachting catalogues when she got home gave Kate a little buzz. Well, don't look like anything's biting, said Graham, and Kate blinked in surprise, having almost forgotten he was there. He was a very quiet man and didn't seem to find silence uncomfortable at all, practically a psychopath. We'd better head back in before we lose the light. Graham picked up the oars and began pulling them back in towards the marina. Yes, very good arms, Kate thought, delighted the date was finally over. I'd love to see you again, Graham said as he finished tying off the boat and turned to look up at Kate. Kate's legs felt all wobbly on the still earth, and she wondered if there were shoes you could get to help with that. It went on her mental shopping list. She thought back over the afternoon. How long it had seemed. How cold and frightfully boring. God, she couldn't go through that again. Her phone began buzzing in her pocket. She glanced down to see a text from Polly. Could you have the kids next Saturday? Ryan and I are going for dinner. Thanks, babe. Kiss. I'd love to see you again, said Kate, looking back up from her phone decisively. Next Saturday, okay? Well, there you go. You picked the option that had them going on another date. They didn't have to go on another date. Your options were sandwiches. They were going to bond over the sea spray, ruining the sandwiches, but he was going to turn her down for a date because of her impractical suede boots, which you guys all hated as well. So that was your choice. Champagne and strawberries. He was going to be really confused at why anybody would bring champagne and strawberries out in a dinghy. So he was going to have some of the strawberries while she finished all of the wine alone and then couldn't drive home, and Polly had to come and collect her. So that would have been a sad one. And then the complete high tea. He laughs so much when she produces a teapot and says she thought there'd be a kettle on the boat that he drops his rod over the side. Do what you need with that, Mystic. They both take umbrage and go sulkily home. Kate goes home to nurse her sorrows, but gets a call from Polly to see if she can babysit. So, depending on whether you wanted to see more of Graham, you picked the right one, I suppose. They will have another date. But your question ready for Monday. So we will be back Monday at 10 p.m. Your question is, you can decide, what does Kate do for a living? Your choices on her career. Remember, don't vote in the live comments. If you vote under the video, and if you're watching this catching up at any point over the weekend before Monday the 9th, feel free to join in and vote. Does Kate work for a big company that makes and distributes cleaning products? Is she a receptionist for a dentist? Is she an IT technician in a university? Or is she a doctor? Those are your options. What does Kate do for a living? Works for a big company that makes and distributes cleaning products, a receptionist for a dentist, IT technician in a university, or a doctor. Those are your choices. I will put them in the description and you vote in the comments, and I will see you again. There's not much love for doctor going on. Okay. Remember, they will have consequences on the story. So I will see you at 10 p.m. on Monday. I hope you all have a really lovely weekend and take care of yourselves. Don't stress. Don't try and do all the things you'd normally do when it wasn't winter in a pandemic. There's not enough vitamin D and there's not enough happiness. So just do the basics. Love you millions. Take care of yourselves. See you Monday. Bye.